Alright, fuck it. So, this is gonna be one of the most notorious titles. These two movies that we're watching today, we're doing both of them in one fucking video. These two movies are gonna be some of the most notorious movie names on the entire iceberg. Guinea Pig 1 and 2, Devil's Experiment, and Flowers of Flesh and Blood. These two movies are extremely popular in terms of the disturbing movie realm. Everybody knows about them. And well, I guess I'm late to the party. I haven't watched these movies, so I've seen them. At least I know the first two are the only two that like really matter in terms of like being disturbing, because the rest of them are just movies. And I guess without further ado, let's see why, at least with Guinea Pig 2, why Charlie Sheen thought it was so real that he called the FBI, leading to them making a making of Guinea Pigs 1 and 2 in order to show that it was fake. Got that? Alright, 3, 2, 1. So far, it's nothing but silent Japanese text, which obviously I can't fucking read it. Man, what is it with all these foreign horror movies and whatever, just not having any fucking subtitles to them? Like, I was lucky to find some for Solo, but I was not able to find any for Tumbling Doll of Flesh, and of course, like, with these two, guess there's no subtitles either. So, let's have fun. I guess that would be kind of cool. A blind reaction. No, not even really understanding what's going on, just watching. This kind of does already remind me of Tumbling Doll of Flesh because of the way, like driving up someplace and it's flashing to something. Is that, like, the lady's dead body? Is that the Devil's Experiment or whatever? Oh, or is it oh, they literally captured her in a fucking net, I'm assuming. Right? No? Captured him fucking George of the Jungle style. That music. Guinea Pig. Alright, we're already getting right to it. Ooh, that was gritty. Ooh, okay. Okay, violence on women is really bad. Ooh. Wait, what the fuck? That one was fake. Well, wait a minute. I can't exactly tell. I think most of these are fake. Like, all of these are fake. But there was one that was, like, really bad. Oh, 10. Oh, so yeah, they're gonna see basically how much pain the human body can go through. So that first part was 10 hits. Let's see. 50 hits? I would have expected her face to be, fucking raw or whatever, or cut. Okay, I mean, yeah, it's definitely raw, it's red, and they just rubbed salt in it? Man, just non-stop. Oh. That was bad. Come on. Only now she's bruising? And even then, it's not that slight of a or not that bad of a bruise, it's just, oh man, are they gonna hit her with that? Fucking bag full of coins? I like how that one guy in the background is just fucking drinking, like, that's some entertaining shit. 100 hits, so she did 10, 50, 100, so that's 160 so far. I was really fucking, like, I don't know, chunky, jello-y, fucking jelly for it to be, blood. It was like a blood clot that you, like, fucking, right out of your fucking nose. So they're just kicking her around. No, listen, I'm not laughing because I like seeing women get abused or whatever, because obviously I don't, but I'm sorry, this is fucking laughable. It's like, this is her face, and they're just going, eh. And when they're kicking her, like, you can just tell they're just, like, tapping her with their foot. It's like, I mean, it's hard to watch when, like, sometimes the hits look real. It's hard to watch when sometimes the hits look real. But I can tell that 50, 60% of them are just not fucking real. And I guess that's the problem with doing such an amateuristic guerrilla style of filming, because you can't really prepare this shit to make it look as real as possible. Like, in order for it to be authentic, it literally needs to be authentic. You tell them what to do, and then they just do it. As opposed to, like, planning out every little nook and cranny, how the hits are gonna land, and this and that. Like, when's the moment they're gonna go down to the ground? No, I get it. It's just hard. It's really hard to do something like this, I get. But at the same time, It could have been done better. Man, I feel bad. I feel really bad for this actress. Oh, so they got her fucking tied up like that? That's all she has to say about that? Is just slight moaning? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, come on. That fucking... Talk about the fucking worst snake bite you've ever fucking felt. Your friends can't do better than that. Jesus. You know, if I just took away the clip, what do you think I'm listening to? Oh, so they keep her out there, I'm assuming. Eh? Is that what it is? I mean, if they're going for the realism factor, of course, like, just like Tumbling Doll of Flesh, they don't stick to their rules. I don't know about you, but, like... I mean, obviously, after a while, of course, you're gonna get fucking sick, right? And, like, want to throw up and this and that. But, like, genuinely, I mean, that's not the worst torture I've ever seen. 200, so 350 fucking times she has been spun around now. She's throwing up, there we go. Man, that barf looked a little too real. Like, that looks like genuine, like, barf. Not like, you know, the chunky little mess that they always have in movies. Like, that looked like genuine, like, liquid saliva. Ugh, the saliva, too, dripping out of the mouth. Yeah, that looks like actual vomit. Oh, it's egg yolk. Like, yolk. Egg yolk. See, the worst part is not what's actually being done to her, it's her reactions to it. Like, those screams are so much worse than anything that was in fucking Solo. I'm sorry. Like, those screams just really sunk in. That was like, ooh, like, this ain't fucking around. What are they doing? Trying to, like, rip her... Oh, are they, like, testing out, like, what it's like to rip out certain parts of the body? Just get it over with, man. Stop. So now it's stuff like that that makes it lose its edge when it just fucking freeze frame. Cut to the next scene. 70 degrees Celsius. Is that boiling? I don't know. I mean, I think it's at the point of boiling it for sure, but I didn't know if it's specifically the boiling point. Oh, I don't like the look of that. 150? Are they gonna dump it right on the same fucking area? Ooh, yeah, that looks nice. Ugh. Ah, seriously, they're gonna sprinkle maggots on that? Like, man, this actress really better... She really should have been paid well, because these things are just crawling around in her. Literally, that's a shot of them going down into her fucking hair. One of them's literally in the corner of her fucking eye. I just don't understand what's the point. Like, it's obviously not hurting her. She's not fucking waking up to it, at least. Like, what the hell's throwing meat gonna do at somebody besides just, you know, fucking annoy them and maybe disgust them? Throwing guts at a fucking... I mean, it's disgusting, but it's not... At least that ain't that scary, no. Oh, I mean, the cut looked actually pretty real, if I'm being honest, but that didn't look so real. The hitting of the hand looked a little bit too spongy. Like, I know that when you're gonna get hit with a sledgehammer, like, obviously your fingers are gonna recoil and whatever, right? But that looked way too fucking spongy. Okay, so after slapping her, pushing her around and kicking her, spinning, drowning her out with alcohol, white noise, burning liquid to the fucking arm, maggots, flesh being thrown at her, and a cut and a sledgehammer to the hand. What's next? I see a saw right there. Ah, fuck. The smaller details like that definitely... It's the smaller details like that where you like see the fucking eye pool with blood that makes it a lot more disturbing than most other shit. Oh, fuck. Needle right through the fucking eye. Oh, shit. She's back in the fucking net. Is she still alive? Or what's going on here? Are they gonna finally kill her? Like, what's gonna be the grand finale? Like, in terms of killing her? Like, you know what's something that shocked me a lot and that would make me feel especially bad and that I think would be super cruel? It's not like shooting or dismemberment, which dismemberment's probably gonna be exactly what happens or whatever. But, like, what if they just left her there and, like, an animal came by and, like, mauled her and then fed on, like, used her as food? Or nothing. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, when I said I wanted something shocking, I wasn't expecting, you know, just to cut away from it. What the fuck? Okay. So I guess I really didn't think about this. I didn't really think about how I was gonna do the rating because I'm talking about two movies. I think we're just gonna go ahead and do Guinea Pig 1 right now, and then after that, we'll do Guinea Pigs 2. Or Guinea Pig 2's reaction. Let's go ahead and talk about Guinea Pig Devil's Experiment. So starting off the quality and production, I mean, it's got some good stuff to it. The effects look pretty good, and sometimes like the lack of music and like the lack of voices to it, besides like, you know, just the moaning and groaning and the laughing, like the lack of music and all that stuff definitely adds into like making it feel good, making it feel like more realistic and like a little bit more scary in the long run. But ultimately, it can't commit to its own rules, A, and B, some of it is just super fucking cheesy. Like some of the hits definitely did not land, you can just tell, and some of the shit is just a little bit weird. Like, I just don't really know like why they freeze framed on like the guy going ripping out the girl's nail or whatever. There's just some stuff in here that I'm like definitely isn't needed in terms of like trying to make this overall scary. And I think they could have done a much better job, but they obviously get half of it right. So for quality and production of Guinea Pig Devil's Experiment, I'm gonna go ahead and give a 1 out of 2. Moving into realism, as I said, they cannot commit to their own rules, which isn't a good thing. But in terms of everything else, like, let's talk about like just being held captive and being subject to all this shit. Like, I mean, besides the fact that the girl really doesn't, you know, scream as much as I would have thought she would, I would have been screaming if I got my fucking forearm like turned like that. Shit. Like, I would have been screaming if that happened to me. But obviously the screaming to like the guts, the screaming to the white noise, obviously it shows that more or less the psychological terror is what gets to her as opposed to the physical pain, I guess, if that makes sense. Like the fucking with her head and all that is what gets to her in the long run. I mean, overall, it's somewhat realistic. It's got some good moments, and obviously the gore is pretty good. The gore is pretty good too. The effects are actually decent. And once again, it gets half of it right and it gets the other half of it wrong. So for realism, I'm just gonna give it 1 out of 2 as well. For gore score, I mean, just like Salo, like, what the fuck do you expect? Like, this is fucking brutal. And like the screams alone get to me. The eye scene, the fucking pouring of the boiling oil and the maggots, like, yeah, those are alone enough to constitute a 2 out of 2. Moving on to creep factor. I mean, at first it's not creepy. It just comes off as more funny because obviously you can tell some of the hits aren't landing. As it goes on, it definitely, this is more like a knife just slowly but surely creeping in. And of course, like with most of these movies, it's gonna steadily get worse as it goes on. But like, this is like just the tip. Like at first you're like, haha, you're not actually gonna do it, but then it goes in, and then before you know it, it's through your whole fucking like arm, your hand, and you're just like, oh my god, like it actually went through with it. The only thing that I wish it did, which definitely would have left a really like sick punch to the gut with me, is if we actually saw what they did with her as opposed to just leaving her there. But that could kind of play into like, let your imagination run wild. Like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna just shoot her? Are they just gonna bury her alive somewhere? Are they gonna, you know, cut her up or whatever? Or say exactly what I thought would be extremely cruel and like feed her to like some kind of animal or whatever. Like, that would be fucking awful. But for what we do see, it does a pretty good job of like sticking like its ground and actually like being able to provide like somewhat of a punch, right? And I think it does a good job of making you feel just awful for this woman. And so in the long run, guys, for creep factor, honestly, I'm feeling a 3 out of 4. You know, it's a very, I would say this is like a very sick and just, it sinks in by the end of it. Creepy. It's a mildly creepy film. So, guys, with a 1 out of 2 on the quality and production, a 1 out of 2 on the realism, a 2 out of 2 on the gore score, and a 3 out of 4 on the creep factor, that brings the total for Guinea Pig 1 to a 7 out of 10, which is a creepy rating, same as Salo, and I think that's about right. This is a creepy movie. Because of some of the things that it lacks, just in terms of like realism and in terms of like basically making it feel more authentic. That's that. We're not done yet. The video's not over. Let's talk about, or I guess let's just go ahead and pull up Flowers of Flesh and Blood, the one that Charlie Sheen reported to the FBI. Let's see if I'm gonna report it to the FBI. In 3, 2, 1. We got that opening scroll again. Got that text letting us know like what we're in for. Yep, I can read it. I definitely can read it. Oh, so this movie actually makes a lot of sense right now. Yeah, this explains a lot. Here we go. No, this definitely starts off differently. Like, it sets you right into the atmosphere of like what I believe to be Japan, right? Like, this is Japan, not China, right? Is that our main character right there? I take that as a yes. She's just now, like, turning back. Oh, okay, she's speed walking. Some of this stuff, of course, is, like, fake. Like, that shot is obviously fake. But the shots of, like, him actually chasing after her with his camera in hand, that's really creepy. It just is. It's a lot creepier than this right here. I wish that it actually would have stuck with the found footage idea going around like the second time. Like, let's actually have it so that way the killer is holding the camera the whole fucking time rather than just this imaginative fourth, fifth, whoever, this other person in the room who's like actually, yeah. Oh, are we gonna get a title screen? Yes, we are. I like that. I liked that. I mean, so far as the opening for this is a lot better. Obviously, it's still breaking the rules that, like, you know, it sets, but let's see how well this actually goes down. Let's see. Blood on the walls.
Something tells me that this isn't this man's first rodeo.
What is she trying to do? She's trying to... Yeah, so obviously she's trying to get out. Could she not, like, get her arm to her mouth to, like... I mean, I'll be honest, like, in terms of, like, actual, like, setting the atmosphere goes, like, this is doing a much better job, like, the sharpening of the knife, the blood on the walls, the way that he just kidnaps her and, like, has already strapped up, like, it's game on. The acting this time around is also a lot better, I'll say that. Oh no, 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 no. I don't want to see you kill this chicken. Come on. Please, no. I mean, I could tell that was fake, but still, like, who the hell wants to see that? So obviously as I was getting to, the acting is better because, obviously we have a woman who's screaming from the start. She's not like, I was wondering why he was so pale. Okay, I could see now that it's like he's like doing what I think is like an actual like war technique that like samurais used to do back in the day. They'd like paint their face white so that way they'd appear as like spirits of the dead and strike fear into their enemies or something like that. What's even going on? Like, what is he doing? Is he like trying to feel like for the right spot to stick it? Well, I mean, I should have seen that one coming. Like, I mean, I'm thankful the fucking first one didn't have any nudity, but is this one gonna have nudity? Oh, maybe not. Hopefully not. I don't want to fucking see any nudity because it makes my fucking job so much harder to censor that shit out in order to put it up on fucking YouTube. Yeah, what the hell? Where the hell is he gonna put that? So I know that like what he just pulled out of her had a needle head. So was that like some kind of like I mean, I know that he obviously has been injecting her with something. Was that also another drug? I mean, I'll say it. So far, this movie like sticks. Besides, like not sticking to its rules, like seems to be a much better movie. Like betterly made. Like the effects seem to be better. The characterization, hell, even the story is better. Like I'm more interested in this one than I was the other. Like, this is a quality for the most part scare. Let's see. Oh, and like the sound effects, like what it sounds like. And he's like sawing through bone. Ugh. Yeah, that's a gross detail. I mean, oh, that's a fucking gross effect. Oh, that is such a gross effect. That is awesome. What the fuck? So I take it that the drug he must have given her must have been some kind of like painkiller, so she doesn't feel what he's doing. Now, this is even just a better looking movie too. Like, effects are better looking overall. So quality wise, it's got a lot going for it. Just besides it just not, sticking to the rules, like. And so I like that too. Like the lights that are in the scene aren't like there for necessarily like cinematic effect. Like it's not like this here where the lights are just set up for like the sake of being set up or whatever. Like it's not just for the audience. Like he obviously sets it up that way because he likes it that way. Oh, man, those sound effects, just the man. Fucking nasty. He can't saw through the bone, so what? Is he gonna like fucking... That's a gross detail, man. Can't saw through the bone? That's a neat little fucking detail too. Every time like the heart pumps, you see the blood churn out of the arm a little bit more. Wow. That's a fucking cool effect too. Like her trying to flex her shoulders or stretch them out and like she can't because they're literally fucking cut off. Yeah, this is like an effects display and I really like it actually. I'll tell you this, the saw going into that leg looks a lot fucking better than the one it did in Tumbling Doll Flesh, I'll say that much. Man, just having the hardest time with those bones. I must say, I'm much more impressed with this one than I am the other one. I'll even say, like, it's just a little creepier, too. Like, this guy's fucking weird. Just the way he admires the limbs, why he's dressed up as a samurai. And I mean, I understand that, like, it breaks its rule, right? But at least this time, it doesn't stick so hard to the rule. Like, it doesn't, like, make it the gag. Like, this one focuses more on being a legitimate movie with like found footage guerrilla-esque style tactics somewhat to try to authenticate it a little bit. I'm still incredibly impressed by this one as compared to the last one. I think this one's much creepier. Just the effects are a lot they're a lot more nasty, and not to mention they're a lot more realistic too. I think the quality definitely has been upped. Yeah, I think this one's gonna have a higher rating than the last one for sure. You telling me she hasn't died from blood loss yet? I mean, I'll tell you right now, that blood splurt right there, like that blood looks a lot better than the blood that was in Devil's Experiment. Oh, here we go. Got some guts. Oh man. Oh, I really don't like that at all. At first the effects looked a little cheesy, like of course they're intestines, right? But seeing how all of them are attached to each other and some of them are fucking green and yellow and all that, yeah, that makes it look a lot more realistic. Ugh, fuck. Oh, God. God. Oh. Is the eye in there? Yeah, definitely not his first fucking rodeo. Oh, he's decomposing the body in acid? Ah. Ugh. Is that what the title is supposed to mean? Flowers of Flesh and Blood? Like, he uses this stuff for even his plants? Back to it. Yeah, that one was a lot worse than the first one. I guess let's just hop into quality and production. So, for the quality and production of Guinea Pig 2 Flowers of Flesh and Blood, it's much better acted, the effects are better, it looks better, and it's a much more interesting movie. Obviously, it still breaks some of its rules, some of it's still a little illogical with, like, I can't tell if it's supposed to be found footage or not, or if it's just that, like, he's speaking to the audience, like, showing his collection, as opposed to speaking to somebody behind the camera. I mean, besides from just it being a little unrealistic in terms of camera placements and found footage aspect, I mean, this is a much better made movie. For quality production, I'm going to give a 1.5 out of 2. For realism, as I said, I know it's not really going for the found footage aspect, it just is there to kind of help give it more of an authentic feel to it. The gore effects are a lot more realistic, I'll say that. They are a lot more realistic and a lot more visceral. In terms of even the psychology of it, like the psychology of somebody who actually like collects mementos and whatever, like, this reminds me a lot of Ed Gein. The psychology of it does, for the most part, add up. Like, somebody who admires their work, like, also collects stuff, yeah, I could see them going to this extent. Maybe not to the extent of dressing up like a samurai. That is really outlandish, but still, like, it's creepy. It is fucking just, it's a little out there, but it's not too far out there, because you definitely have heard of people who dress up as someone or something and then kill someone. So, for realism, I'm going to give a 1.25 out of 2. For gore score, 2, moving on. Creep factor was really fucking creepy. That ending was really fucking creepy. Really unsettling. That alone is going to stick with me for the next day or so. That, holy shit. And like, just the gore alone is so visceral. And like, I understand that some of the effects, like the head hitting the wall and the chicken getting its head cut off, like, yeah, I understand those effects are a little cheesy, and some of the slow-mo shots that like hit the ground and it's super slow frame rate and zoom in. Like, I understand that stuff is like cheesy, but then let's talk about the fucking just ending and all the other effects that do really work, and the sawing into the bone really just, I mean, I think the samurai gimmick is a little funny, but besides that, yeah, I'm gonna give for the creep factor a 3.5 out of 4. Or this is definitely creepier than the other one. And yeah, so guys, with a 1.5 out of 2 on the quality and production, a 1.25 out of 2 on the realism, a 2 out of 2 on the gore score, and a 3.5 out of 4 on the fucking creep factor. That brings our total today for Flowers of Flesh and Blood to 8.25 out of 10. Do I think that's a good rating? Yeah, I do. I think, like, this is, I definitely got more from this one than I did Solo. And just that creepy fucking song over top of, like, showing what the hell this guy has done with all the bodies, and just like the pictures of the bodies, the skinning, and like all the worms and the maggots and the blood and the hydrochloric acid that's melting all the bodies. Like, yeah, that was a lot. So 8.25 out of 10. Majorly Scared is definitely the rating to be for this one. So if you stuck throughout the entire video, awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. This was a lot, especially the second one and back to back. Do I recommend anyone watch them? I mean, no, not unless you're into disturbing movies or you're like trying to get into the Iceberg. I would say this has probably been the worst movie I've seen on the Iceberg so far since maybe I'd want to say maybe since Cannibal Holocaust and August Underground. That's that. Like, Tumbling Doll of Flesh doesn't even come to this, because this is a much better made movie than Tumbling Doll of Flesh, even though the last half hour Tumbling Doll of Flesh is a lot. See, Tumbling Doll of Flesh was like the runtime of this and was just about torturing that woman. Maybe then could it have ranked higher than, I think, a 5.5 out of 10 I gave it. This is a lot better, though. This is what I think Tumbling Doll of Flesh was trying to be, so yeah. Alright guys, my name is Brendan Reviews, and This is literally gonna like take a while to settle. Oh God. Alright. Thank you guys for watching. So, yeah. Bye!
Subscribe to Brendan Reviews or else I'll come to your house and eat your kids.